BBC Radio Manchester.
Richard Fair with you live today at the Bridgewater Hall for the launch of the Manchester International Festival. It's been billed as the world's first international festival of original new work. And one of the pieces which was fairly early on in the commissioning days was a film called Kapital by Greg Hull. He's writing it and directing it, and he's with us now. This sort of came to you on the back of the success of your first film, which was The Prague, wasn't it?
So The Plague, which
yeah.
I made when I was 22. I made it for £3,500, which is kind of unheard of for any feature film to be made for that money. It went on to pick up quite a lot of industry recognition, predominantly from people like Mike Leigh, some of the big guns of cinema. And off the back of that, Alex Poots came up to me. I'd met with Steve Martland. We said we wanted to do something together, and this is my second feature at the age of 25, so the festival's really supporting its own British independent cinema, which is something we need in this country. So it's a real pleasure to be involved with this festival. And I tried to say, Alex, when he spoke to me, said it's about artists working differently. So even with this film, Steve Martland wrote all the music without seeing the film, and we cut the film to the music. I worked with no script. I'd just taken fairy tales and stripped them down to their base narrative and kind of devised that with actors based in Manchester, and everything, the team we created, all the locations, all Manchester based, and we really came here to make a universal tale. There was a kind of radical piece of cinema, really trying to push the boundaries on what normally comes out of this country. And like I say, it's a great pleasure to be involved with the festival and with a great city.
Because when you were at the commissioning stage, I mean, the festival was still very much evolving. It was still just an idea on a bit of paper, really. And you've watched it develop. And today, we've arrived today at the press launch, and they've handed us the festival programme. And when you flick through it, how do you feel? Your name alongside, like there's PJ Harvey in there, Lou Reed, some of the stuff which is going to be on. And there's your film.
Yeah, I think, Johnny Vegas said he was out of his depth. I think I'm drowning. Like, rubbing shoulders with some of these big names is, such an honour. And, like you said, I first came up in kind of August 2005. I'd met Alex previously, and at that stage there was kind of Alex and just a handful of people. And because when we done the production of the film over the summer of 2006, we were based here for about 6 months. We worked closely and alongside a lot of the team of the festival, so I've really seen it grow and develop and see the hard work everyone's put into it. So today, like you say, to see that programme, to see it come to fruition is just wonderful. It really is. An international artists, local artists, the festival is really kind of ticking those boxes and doing something different. It is setting that bar. You got big festivals like Edinburgh, Glastonbury, but this is something so unique. There's nothing like this on the planet, so it's going to be a good summer. A very good summer.
When you came up and filmed in Manchester, and did a lot of Manchester people involved?
Yeah, everyone. I mean, myself and my sister, who produced and co-directed, she's from London. Our editor was from Ireland, and then the cinematographer from Finland. Apart from that, pretty much everyone was Manchester-based. So all the cast, we cast from Manchester-based actors. One or two who are untrained, and then all the locations, everything is really. Manchester was the kind of stage that this film played out upon.
So what sort of areas of Manchester are we going to see?
Everything from the city
centre.
Some
of the iconic locations, obviously.
Some of the iconic, but some of the not so seen. The film's very much about the tales of the untold. About it really explores the darker crevices of humanity and society, and it looks at a cross-section of the kind of class system of Britain, and Manchester really is kind of a metaphor for the world and for this country. And everywhere, we were in places like the Red Bricks, we were in Hume at the Zion Arts Centre, we were at the Northern Quarter, all over Manchester. I think a lot of people in Manchester will see some bits that maybe they don't recognise. You
can understand why Manchester is so often used now as a film location.
Yeah, I mean, the architecture here is very beautiful. You still have the kind of, you can see the period from the Industrial Revolution, and there's a whole kind of new wave of development that's happening. And there's still a history of stuff like the people we were working with in Hume. There's a history of the Crescents that used to be there, the red brick estate that's there now. You know, Manchester's such a vibrant city of so many people, places, that yeah, it's a wonderful place to come and film in, visually as well as, you know, socially.
Now the film premieres on the 4th of July, so is it finished now? Have you done the final touches to it yet?
We got the last couple of weeks. We're just mixing the sound, and Steve Martland and his engineer are just tweaking the music. So quite literally 3 to 4 weeks it's done. Most of the hard work, the camel's back has been broken so far. So yeah, we're lucky because I think the other kind of commissions, they're really going to be fully into it when the festival launches. Yet with us, they just need to press play. So I think we'll be a lot more relaxed, but we're getting there. It's been a long process. Like I say, started back in kind of August 2005. So it's been about 1.5 years of my time dedicated to it.
And are you a perfectionist? I mean, when you sit and watch it, will you sit there and think, actually, next time I do that, I'll do it that way, or I wish I could just take that scene out and put another scene in it? Or can you let it go? Once it's finished, can you let it go? I
mean, it's very hard. I think anything kind of creative, you're always trying to learn and better yourself. And especially myself, I'm such a young filmmaker, and to be given, Alex Poots came out and said you can have complete creative freedom, you can have final cut, work out of your box how you wouldn't normally. So for me, of course, I'm very, very proud of it. But of course, I've learnt so much from it, and there's things I never thought I would have put in there that are in there. So the whole experience has been, for my personally speaking, a real learning curve, and amazing to be involved in it. And I think everyone that is part of the film and part of the festival, all the commissions, they've kind of really pushed how they work. So yeah, I think for everyone, you know, we've all learnt a lot from it. So.
And of course, when it gets shown, it's going to be shown at the Corner House, which is a great venue for this kind of film.
Yeah, I lived, when I was staying here from April till September, I literally lived opposite the Corner House. So I spent a lot of time eating their Middle Eastern platter and catching some of their Sunday films. You know, it's really great to see a place like the Corner House. And I met Dave Moutry, who kind of heads it up, and just a bookshop there, the independent films and the European stuff that they put on, and the international cinema. And even the galleries and stuff, some of the stuff you can see. The Corner House is a microcosm for a lot of the places in Manchester, you know, that are committed to showing some of the arts that wouldn't normally get so much exposure. So it's a great city. This festival's kind of tapped into all of those kind of resources. It's just perfect to show at the Corner House.
Greg, thanks for talking to us today on BBC Radio Manchester. And Greg's film, Kapital, is on at Corner House as part of the Manchester International Festival, and it's on from the 4th to the 15th of July. Richard Fair with you live today on BBC Radio Manchester from the Bridgewater Hall, where we are at the launch of the Manchester International Festival.